All right, folks. Just making sure that this thing is coming through. There might be a slight delay here, but the phone lines are open. This is going to be kind of crazy here um, when people start to actually call in. Yep. So we do get everything does look like it is coming through just fine. So like I said, the lines are open, and we are just going to kind of cover the general cryptoverse, what's going on with it, and you have the opportunity to let me know what charts you want me to kind of take a peek at. So we'll just kind of let the room kind of fill up a little bit. We're at about 8 strong, but that won't stop us. We'll just kind of kick things off on a lighter level. You can call in by basically calling 346-839-0648, and we'll break whatever chart down that you want. Now, there really is some interesting stuff happening today, but feel free to hit me up at Six Figs, at Real Six Figs, anytime, and we will get down and dirty. So with that said, we saw the markets kind of sell off today a little bit, which, hey, Friday sell-offs. But this was a little steep, and Trump announced more tariffs on the EU. So that was interesting to say the least. And basically, we saw some very, very sharp selling off here. Now, there's some things that I am kind of looking for as far as the markets are concerned. I know a lot of you are probably from the ICP, CKB community. And I've been basically telling people about this potential harmonic pattern that is, hey, could impact the markets. And I've been telling a lot of people in my open chat group that you guys better watch for price action to see if it penetrates the $5.77 level. And if it exceeds the $6.13-14 level, this harmonic would basically be nullified. But with that said, we saw price action break down in this red zone, which is not a good thing because we could be seeing the price of ICP, for example, on its way down to 460 to 427, in my opinion, if they cannot get things under control with these tariffs. I mean, we're seeing still great momentum the last few days with crypto. However, folks, the markets are still fragile when they're shredding market caps like this. So, it just is what it is for the time being. Now, I've been telling you guys about blockchain for at least, I don't know, since January. They had the pre-sale, and I was telling you guys, hey, I'm buying this pre-sale. I'm not telling you what you should be buying, but I'm telling you, I'm always transparent with what I'm doing on this channel. And I hope you guys appreciate that. Blockchain, guys, is this crazy, they call it a financial experiment, which it is. It is. But this thing, this is where I got in, down here at 0.004. That was the pre-sale price back in January. And now this thing's up 1100%. I haven't seen dick from anybody in the feeds that actually bought this but myself and a few of the CoinRock cabal. So with that said, I mean, keep your eye on blockchain, folks. It's a Coinbase blockchain Ponzi scheme, and it locks 37% of all buys into the liquidity pool, invests them weekly for 1 year. This means that they will trickle back tokens on a weekly basis, daily basis back to you over the course of a year. And basically, you buy the tokens, you get about 60% up front. and you can do as you choose with those. But this has, I would call this advanced Ponzi-nomics for 100% certain. Just checking the comments here. We got Data for Live. Living in the EU, is this still possible? Yes, it should be. It should be still possible, but watch out for your carrier charges. That's all I would say. Let's see here. We've got okay, BD2ND listening for cloud breakdown. Excited for 2025 and when Caffeine AI is released. Baby's doing great. Thanks for asking, man. It's crazy. Can't believe she's already a month old. Wow. But yeah, feel free to call in, request a chart. I'd love to talk to you. If you just want to shoot the breeze on any ICP projects, we can do that now. We'll get into the thick of ICP right now and some of the projects from within. So bear with me 1 second here while we get this pulled up. And today's live stream is totally an experiment, guys. It just is. Somebody mentioned cloud, so we'll pull this one up and just take a peek at cloud. All right. We got cloud token. This thing, just from a small glimpse that I got here, looks like this thing's banging. Now, what's interesting about this, and we're going to switch over to an hourly chart. Hourly charts kind of paint a better picture, and really, I'm kind of shocked to see cloud up there in the clouds. This thing is doing very well. We're going to get rid of this volume here, and we are going to replace this with an RSI. And so right now on the hourly, this thing, in my opinion, price action is seeping a little bit too far away from this Ichimoku cloud on cloud. So there was kind of an interesting pattern that I recognized straight away when we opened up these charts. And that was the fact that there was a potential, you could argue that there was maybe a rising wedge or something of that nature, even kind of like right in here. There was this rising wedge that did happen, but it seems like price action has kind of broken through it, which kind of tells you that, the movement of this price is fairly strong right now. So it just cracked out a rising wedge, which is kind of interesting. I mean, but like I said, I'm totally expecting the price of cloud to come back in more towards this 50 moving average, in potentially a symmetrical triangle squeeze like this, or maybe some falling wedge like this, or even a flag sideways trading on this 1 hour. Now, I don't know too much about cloud and the tokenomics, but I'm going to look at this thing on a 4-hour chart as well, just to try to see what's happening here. And yeah, this is basically what I'm kind of thinking is we're going to see a little bit of a pullback. The one thing that stands out to me right away is this candlestick. And for you guys that don't know how to read candlestick, here's a lesson. Basically, when you see these wicks, let's get real zoomed in. When you see these wicks, basically this wick, we're looking at a 4-hour chart. So this entire wick basically represents the prices that the asset reached during that 4-hour period. And you have the open and close for the body of the candle. But when you start to see these long wicks on these candles, this is showing me in the last 4 hours, prices are getting up to about 0.0038, but they're breaking back down. The bears, people are selling them off. And like I said, this isn't surprising to me. If I had to guess, I mean, there is potentially some Elliott wave theory here, and there's possibly going to be some sort of ABC or ABCDE retracement here. Let's see here. We've got about 20 minutes left. I'm gonna cut this stream short if we don't get too many more people in here. But feel free to call. The lines are open. Drop whatever token that you're looking for, TA. If you want to talk about a project, feel free. I'd love to talk to you. Let's take a quick peek. I know, is anybody in the chat holding Alice? Let's take a quick look at Alice, and then we'll go on through the rest of, actually, you know what? Let's just go on to the rest of crypto. We'll hit ICP again. One thing I've been talking to you guys about a lot lately is the total crypto market cap. And this thing has really started pumping. And while this thing was back here in March, kind of in the dumps, I was telling you guys that we've got this tremendous cup and handle that's formed. I mean, this thing is multi-year. And we are seeing this clear trend line and price action testing support and resistance on this trend line. So I do think that there is a chance that we see some sort of inflow to the market. I think this is going to happen this fall, or whenever this trade war stuff can get resolved. But I do think that we're going to see another trillion or two at the minimum come in. I think we're going to see at the greater part of things, maybe a $8 to $10 trillion total crypto market cap. And, obviously Bitcoin is not going to absorb all of that. It's going to be divvied out into a lot of different, ecosystems. Probably some of the top 100 will probably get a heavy share of that. Just my guess. Bitcoin, guys, I'm thinking that Bitcoin is gearing up for somewhat of a retracement here. I say this because we kind of have a little bit of a rising wedge that is happening. And you can see basically the price action is squeezing, and we're looking at Bitcoin on a daily time frame. And so somebody mentions all boats ride with the tide. There's something to say about that. And the reason that you see people talking about, let's just say, all the other assets in crypto following Bitcoin is simply for one reason. When you have an asset like Bitcoin that has a couple $1 trillion market cap, when you see significant selling pressure, this impacts the entire market. And you might not know why, but all these exchanges, let's just say a whale comes onto the scene, loads up 100 Bitcoin across 5 of the biggest exchanges, click sell at one time, and the exchanges essentially scramble to gather up liquidity to fill the whale's order. One of the ways they do this is simply by selling off all the other altcoins that they have. Their market makers have to step in to dump the markets. It's a very, very sketchy, I shouldn't say sketchy, it's part of the market. It's vicious is what I mean to say. It's a vicious part of the market cycle. So that is why all the boats ride with the tide. And speaking of tides, so this is, in my opinion, getting ready to kind of crash down. We have a death cross that nobody's talking about occurring on the daily chart for Bitcoin. And so, I'm expecting Bitcoin to maybe kind of do a flag out, a symmetrical triangle, or basically maybe some sort of falling wedge to catch up with this 50 moving average, which that should be, let's just pretend this line here is purple. So I want Bitcoin to hone back in towards this Ichimoku cloud around 104, $103,000. Now, Bitcoin dominance is definitely um, one thing that I love to pay attention to. And really, when it comes down to it, we've got a very, very tremendous rising wedge for Bitcoin dominance. So remember last December, November, when the markets were absolutely raging and pumping, you saw Bitcoin dominance really, really suffer. And this propelled the markets upwards and forwards, guys. We're seeing kind of like the same thing happen here. This really mega rising wedge that is formed. There's no doubts in my mind that's what it is. But we are seeing, of course, the last couple of weeks in crypto have been good. The markets have been pumping. Bitcoin dominance is suffering. And when we get back to the previous Bitcoin chart that I was just showing you and how I think that it's going to maybe come down a little bit more, I'm totally expecting these dominance levels to fall down to this 200 moving average or target right into this area, which would be a nice distance for it'd be a nice distance for away from this Ichimoku cloud. With that said, Bitcoin dominance, I'm thinking we might see it shed a little bit. CKB, this is a project I've been following a long time, and one of the reasons I love this project is because it's like very grassroots. It's a very secure blockchain. It's mineable. And I don't know if you guys have been hanging around this channel for a while, but last cycle I had like 10 miners going in my basement, and I was mining CKB quite heavily. But right now with CKB, we do have a very nice potential inverse head and shoulders. And so I do think that on the daily, CKB has been trying to really break through this 8-to-1 gone fan line. And you can see it's really, really been trying and struggling. So it's going to come back up, in my opinion, to about the 0.0064-ish level. I'm hoping that it breaks it and fulfills this pattern. And I'm hoping to see this thing kind of run up to this 200 moving average, or maybe even for a 50% gain. I might lock into this one a little bit more, but you guys can see how well Gone fans that I set up a long time ago, how well the price action has just obeyed these Gone fan lines. So we are down at the water's edge, riding on that boat. So it's just kind of one of those things, guys. So we're just waiting to see what happens with CKB. And let me know if you guys want to talk shop. Ethereum. I mean, this looks like a nice cup and handle to me, straight up ETH. Trying to decide if maybe I want to pick one up. But Ethereum, this could be gearing up with the Bitcoin sell-off that I think is possibly coming. We've got somewhat of a nice cup and handle that might be forming here, and we could see Ethereum send. And one of the ways to measure the projection of price on a cup and handle is simply by measuring from the bottom of the cup to the top of the cup, and boom. I mean, we could see Ethereum maybe spike back up to about 4,000, 4,100. Somewhere in that neck of the woods. So with that said, let's see here. I'll give one final overview of ICP. And if you guys want any of the ICP ecosystem tokens, just feel free to call up and ask. And I'd love to talk to you. But with that said, ICP, I've mentioned this in my previous my open chat group, that hey, beware of this potential harmonic pattern. Now I will say this, if you're still with me, there is a very interesting Fibonacci time sequence that could be occurring this Saturday, 7 a.m. United States Central Time, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but there could be a reversal in the price action or a quick pump. We'll just have to wait and find out once we hit this Fibonacci time sequence. But yeah, I think that right now things are looking good for the most part for crypto and alts, and it just kind of is what it is. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but we'll see you guys on the next video. And I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Again, we'll do it next week. If you have any crypto projects that hop onto your radar next week, just feel free to call in. Let me know. Peace out.